Time next for culture on the program, and we're heading to Benin, where royal pieces taken from the kingdom of Dahomey in the colonial wars of the 19th century have returned. The objects, including sculptures, masks, and small pieces of furniture for ceremonial uses, were briefly on display at Paris's Quai Branly Museum. The decision to send the artifacts back, however, has split the art world in two. France 24's Georja Calvin-Smith reports from the ground in Cotonou.
Now, these are just some of the 26 pieces of their history that the Beninese public will finally be able to come and see for free from Sunday. Scepters, statues, the doors of the Royal Palace of Dahomey, all were returned by France's Quai Branly Museum in November, but represent just a fraction of the huge body of African art long held by European collections. Now, their return represents more than just the rolling back of the cultural legacy of colonialism. These pieces have a very unique significance. They were royal property taken as the spoils of war during the French looting of the Kingdom of Dahomey in 1892. And Benin's using their return as a springboard to reinvigorate its entire cultural scene. And they're already reinforcing links with the past. They're being displayed alongside the works of 34 contemporary artists.
Au-delà de la valeur à la fois esthétique,
beyond the aesthetic and cultural value of the works,
c'est surtout les créateurs,
it is above all the creative genius of the artists of the royal court that is highlighted here.
Ce sont ces artistes qui sont célébrés à travers ces œuvres que nous avons.
As well as boosting arts and culture here in Benin itself, curators also want to supercharge international awareness and appreciation of the country's current-day creative pioneers.
This exhibition is a strong message to Benin and also for the world. We could hold this exhibition in this 1,500-metre squared space to show that we have the material and the means, and it's worth being seen and exported. So it's a really strong signal to Benin and the world.
Eventually, the return pieces will be housed in a specially built museum in Abomey that's due to be finished in about 5 years' time. Several other world-class museums are also being created that'll focus on contemporary art, the history of slavery and voodoo. Overall, between now and 2026, about €1 billion are due to be spent on the country's cultural and artistic infrastructure.
Georja Calvin-Smith reporting there. Now sticking with the theme of looted art next, and it's taken 80 years for artworks stolen by the Nazis during World War II to be returned to their rightful heirs. The French Parliament has approved a bill this week clearing the way for the restitution of some 15 works from public museums, including a painting by Gustav Klimt. Brian Quinn reports.
Gazing out from another place and another time. This is Le Père, painted by Marc Chagall in 1911. The canvas was looted by the Nazis during World War II from a Jewish musician and luthier in Poland.
We accessed some information from Poland. We understood that there was a possibility that Mr. Sender had been despoiled. You have a hunch, you have an idea, you have a theory, and those clues allowed us to reunite him with the rest of his family.
Forced from his apartment, interned in the Łódź ghetto, deported to Auschwitz where he lost his wife, daughter, mother, and sister, David Sender survived. In 1959, he began petitioning the German Commission for the restitution of artworks stolen from Jews.
We have a sworn statement by David Sender, which doesn't name the painting, but describes it perfectly.
But the painting was neither in Poland nor in Germany. It was in Paris, where it had been bought back by Marc Chagall himself. David Sender would also move to France, but he would never again see his possession. He died in 1966, 6 years before the painting's plunder was officially recognized. Decades would pass before a commission for compensating victims of Nazi looting would be created and heirs located. Among them is Orna, David Sender's grandniece, who now lives in Israel.
This painting's return means justice for David, for the painting itself, and for the surviving heirs in this family.
Of the 100,000 artworks seized in France during the war, less than half were returned after its liberation. Many went back on the art market. France's culture minister says new laws will make future restitutions easier.